You see how she looked at him right there? When we start investing together, aka investing together.
Sure, when we start investing together.
Look at that, right there. Hey all you cats and kittens, it's Brett here. Thanks for checking out the channel where we talk about money, what to do with it, and how to make more. In this video, we are doing a reaction video on CNBC's series Make It, where they cover millennial money. And so we're going to be looking at a couple who spends $87,000 a year in Toronto. If you like these kinds of videos and want to see them in the future, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below to stay connected, and let's get it rolling.
I think that being financially compatible doesn't even necessarily mean that you have the same financial goals or background, but it just means that you have the same comfortability with being open and actually talking about it, and future goals as well.
Hold up, wait, what? What was that?
And future goals as well.
Right there. Ah, CAD, Canadian dollars. Canadian dollars are worth more than American dollars. 87,000.
I'm Dennis, and I'm 24 years old, and I make $58,000 Canadian a year.
My name's Steph. I just turned 24 years old, and I make $60,000 Canadian a year.
Combined, we make $118,000 Canadian a year.
And we live in Toronto, Ontario.
Is that what people say when they live in Canada? That, oh, we make X amount Canadian dollars. It'd get pretty annoying to have to say Canadian dollars all the time.
I work as a strategy and operations coordinator within a human capital
Cute couple, by the way.
team at a Big Four firm.
And I'm a consultant at a Big Four firm, and I primarily work on, financial projects.
Expenses, my favorite part.
I didn't really have an emergency fund or an emergency fund that had really anticipated a climate like this. A lot of the money that I was pushing towards my student loans, I've sort of been able to dial that back and actually put that into savings just in case anything happens.
All right, I'm gonna stop this. I wanna take a look at it. I do appreciate that they convert it to American dollars. That's helpful. Rent looks good. Savings is great. That's pretty high. I'm wondering if that includes their retirement accounts. There's a little asterisk next to it. So $1,300 in savings a month. That's pretty good off of 87. Debt repayment makes me cringe, $958. That's a big chunk of your money that's going to debt. Oh, they've got a little marker next to it, a little cross. Oh, it's Den's student loans. So he's paying $1,000 a month in student loans. Everything else looks good, looks reasonable. $52 a month in health insurance, hashtag socialism. Not a fan of socialism, but whatever. All right, here we go. This is as of February of 2020.
So when it comes to budgeting, every month we look at our transactions and we see where we were spending in each category. But we try to make sure that we know where every single dollar is going.
Ah, see what they did here? The first one was February, this one is July. Biggest thing I'm noticing is that savings difference. They've upped their savings by about $800. So awesome. Looks like he paid off his student loan, so they're debt free. See what happens? You become debt free. Now you're able to invest more, save more. They can go on trips they couldn't go on before. So he got rid of that $958 student loan payment, and he has rolled it into savings. Good job, Den and Steph.
And we usually use the Mint app.
They split the rent. I'm gonna assume they're not married. They're just shacking up, because if you're married, you don't split the rent.
We do live in a pretty small space for downtown Toronto. It's 400 square foot, if that. I think it's pushing it. They call it a one bedroom, but it's more of a bachelor style space. We've been living together for 2 years now, and we're planning to continue that. But we don't personally feel the need to have any sort of joint accounts. So we have completely separate accounts. We split all of our expenses right down the middle. It's just what works best for us. It works for our budgets, so that we can really plan it out.
So I think one of the huge misconceptions about school in Canada is that schooling is free. Well, guess what? It is not free. And after 11 months, I'd already paid down over half of the amount. So on a typical month, actually,
I'm a little confused. It says he wants to pay off his student loans within 2 years, but his July payment didn't reflect the student loan in it. So either he paid it off, but now what I'm thinking is maybe mid-pandemic, maybe Canada has some sort of forbearance that forgives your student loans for a certain period of time, or he might be American and has American student loans, and in that case it would apply the same way. So based on that piece of information, I think he forbeared his student loans probably up till the close of the end of the year through the fall.
Actually throw close to 50% of my income towards my debt. So I've actually been able to dial that back and throw that money into savings, just because they put a halt on, having to pay back your debt up until I think September of this year.
See, if I would just shut up and watch the video, he would basically tell me what's going on. So
I was really lucky to graduate with no student loans. It was a nice blessing to have leaving school. And it's nice being with Dennis because then I can start working on our savings, and in the future, when we start investing together, that'll be a good stepping stone for us in the right direction.
you see how she looked at him right there? When we start investing together, aka investing together. Yeah, I think she was maybe a little bit of a cue there. It's time. We've been living together for 2 years, haha.
Future, when we start investing together.
Look at that, right there.
That'll be a good stepping stone for us in the right direction.
YouTube.
Before we get started,
Destroy the like button. So we actually started our
Hey, like, subscribe if you like videos like this. We don't only do reaction videos, we do tips, tricks, things how to make more money, how to save more money, things like that. So be sure to like and subscribe.
YouTube channel, Steph and Den, last year in August, but we didn't get serious up until January. And the main reason we started was, at least for me, was because I saw a gap in the knowledge when it came to money and, sort of finances here in Canada. I think a lot of the information that we see online is very United States focused, and there wasn't really much when it came to Canada. And when it comes to a lot of the stuff that we talk about, careers as well, there's not a lot of people who look like me, who are black, that work for a Big Four firm, that are, showcasing, the life and how to get in and how to sort of navigate this whole corporate space as a black person.
Love that. I'm gonna drop a link down in the description. I didn't know they had a YouTube channel. I'm gonna check it out after this. I'll throw a link down in the description just for me using them as content. That's awesome.
we want to help young people like us. We want to help people who look like us, who don't look like us. Overall, just understand their finances, and also just, even if we're not in a position to teach on every topic, sharing our experiences and being really transparent so we can help people along the way. We also try and offer free resume reviews and different things like that so we can actually give back and give value for free to other people and do what we can to connect in that way.
That's awesome.
So my financial focus right now is really on saving. And this started for me when I first graduated and I got serious about budgeting, and I'm really continuing to focus on that more and more as time goes on. Each month I'm saving, my goal is 50% of my income. So basically I get paid bi-weekly. I'm trying to save one full payment each month. And I'm putting it right now into a savings account, but I'm planning on switching into a high interest savings account too to really capitalize and hopefully grow that savings as well each month.
You go, girl. And she said it right there. She's got it in a savings account. She's going to transfer it to a high interest savings account. I would do that too. You get 20, 30 times in a high interest savings account what you would get at your local bank or credit union. Currently, right now, I'm using Ally Bank. Personally, I think they're giving me like 1%, but my local credit union right now is 0.04%. So they're 20x in the money. High interest savings account.
So right now I'm actually not even paying back my student loans. All that money is actually going towards my savings, and I'm keeping that aside, and it's sort of helping me with my rainy day fund should anything happen, you know, me losing a job or, you know, anything else happening financially. And
so it's not a bad move. They're consultants, it sounds like. Their jobs maybe not super stable, and so as we entered in the pandemic, they've pulled back the debt payoff, they pulled back on some of these other things, and they're trying to save more in the event that they need a little bit of a heftier emergency fund. That's smart. There's really nothing to critique about these guys. They're doing a great job, and maybe that's why they run a finance channel.
And eventually I will be able to throw that back into my debt, once things sort of cool down and things change. So when it comes to health insurance here in Canada, it's actually free, which is really cool. But when it comes to your prescription
Ain't nothing free.
drugs, that's usually covered by your employer through insurance. That would be deducted from your pay monthly. So for here in Canada, if you were to lose your job, I definitely don't think your employer paid benefits would be something that would be too big of a deal, given that the rest of healthcare is free. So if you were to go to the hospital, it's covered by what we call, your OHIP card for people here in the province of Ontario. So it's completely free. You break your arm, you go to the hospital, that is free.
It ain't free. They're paying higher taxes. Ain't nothing free.
So I wouldn't say I'm necessarily comfortable with the salary that I'm making, and the reason being is just right now in the days that we're living in, with me having debt, there's just so many expenses, and it kind of just feels like I'm living to get by. And the type of career path that I've chosen, I kind of knew what I was signing up for. You don't necessarily make a lot in the beginning, but hopefully as you gain experience over time, that can translate into more income.
I would say that I do feel comfortable with my salary, given the fact that I'm still in my entry-level role. I'm still working as a coordinator and hopefully working my way up to beyond that. It's a good starting salary, especially on the internal side of an organization like this. Like Den mentioned, in general, certain other roles in other organizations, it might be higher, and obviously I'm working my way up to that. But starting out right now, I do feel comfortable for where I'm at.
So people pay you for the value that you bring. They mentioned it. They're early in their careers. One satisfied, one not so much. But they're both optimistic that the more time and the work that they put in, the more value that they bring to their company or the market, the more value they will get in return. That's how it works. You want to get paid more, you got to work harder or be smarter. Honestly, not a ton to critique there. They're doing a really good job. I didn't know ahead of time that they ran a finance channel. Might not have done a video on them had they did, but then again, it's a really good example of they do a lot of the financial principles that I also try and emulate. They're doing a good job. They're cleaning up. They're doing all the right things. I have nothing to say, nothing productive to say, except nothing's free. Socialism isn't free.